This is not to say that you have to have a relationship expired in order to become a nomad. This just happens to be how it turned out for us.
You can be a nomad with your partner.
Oh, yeah. You can do it any way you want. Hey guys, how are you? This is Connor and you're watching ThrivingMinimalist.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. In this episode of ThrivingMinimalist.com, we're going to talk about being nomadic. A lot of people are wondering how the heck they can do it, what it's all about, what it means. And the three of us have been pretty nomadic for a number of years, right? Everyone's number of years, So I'm here with my really good friends, Brittany Taylor and Dorothea. Vasicek. I'm going to put both their channel links in the description box. So let's just talk about being nomads.
Okay.
I feel like Dot's been a really good nomad for the last year or two.
Yeah, it sounds like you've really hit the nomad track pretty hard.
Yeah, it kind of happened perfectly because my relationship expired at the exact same time as my lease on my apartment.
Oh, that's amazing. So convenient.
So that was really convenient, and it made it really easy to just say, "This is right. Like, let's do this now." It gave me a month to basically sell my car, leave on a good note with my work, sell everything. I had like 3 or 4 different tag sales or garage sales. And I sold everything, anything I couldn't sell, I donated, or I had to throw away, or I gave to friends or family who would value it. And I just instantly was like, okay, time to start somewhere else. And the place I started was in Hawaii. I had a connection there, and I worked on a farm where it wasn't through the woofing website, but it was similar to woofing, where you work and you do it in exchange for your food and your rent. So it was it was a really good exchange, and that just kind of opened the door for the next 2 years of travel for me in really unexpected ways. So.
Yeah, and you've just been like all over the place. You were just getting like a rundown of your history yesterday, and it was like, oh, I've been here, and then I went there, and then I came down here.
Europe and Peru, and then
Yeah.
And with no real like, I'm going to go here or go here at this particular time. And we were talking about this in a different video on Brittany's channel, but kind of just having like a no plan, just kind of going with the flow and letting things unfold as they.
Yeah, because what I've noticed is the more you travel, the more you travel. It really kind of snowballs. And it's scary when you first take that step, because you're like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 6 months or 3 months or a year. Like, what am I going to be doing? Who am I going to be with? But the thing is, the more you travel, the more you meet people. And people really have, without the connections that I have, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done. It's all about networking, and you meet people, and then they offer to host you, and I kind of joke, I'm like, well, you never know when I'm going to take you up on that offer. So thank you. That's probably the biggest compliment people can give me, is to say, like, oh, if you're ever in my town, come, look me up. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
I might actually do that.
Yeah,
it's like the more you travel and the more you jump into this nomadic lifestyle, the more understanding you have that you can do it, and the more desire you have to want to do it. And I think you're right. It just keeps snowballing.
And the more you meet people that are doing it, and
the more normal it becomes. It seems like everyone I hang out with these days is making their money online and is doing a lot of travel. And that's not because the whole world is doing it. That's because it's just I'm doing it, and so those are the people that I tend to be in relation with the most.
Yeah.
Oh, how about you, Brittany Taylor? What's your nomadic lifestyle story?
Well, I feel like I've always been traveling a lot since I was a young kid. I've always really loved it, but mine also seemed to snowball when I left my relationship.
When your relationship expired.
Yeah, when my relationship...
I love that term.
But I think I more force expired my relationship in big part for the sake of travel. I was doing all I could to travel all the time, and realizing that I really valued travel, and more so my freedom, and just following what felt right for me over staying in that relationship and compromising. And so when I got to this point that I was like, I can't keep, it was hard for me to be away from my partner.
Yes.
And I wasn't able to be as present when I was traveling. And it just wasn't worth it to me anymore. I really wanted to let go of that attachment to my partner. so that I could just be more free and express myself and to live in the present and feel like I could travel to one place and let it lead me to the next and so on and so forth.
Sounds like to really be able to follow that passion that was inside of you for travel and exploration.
Yes.
You needed to kind of move on from the thing that was holding you back from that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago, and I moved into a backpack and just have never turned back.
Yeah.
Just sticking with the warm weather and the awesome people and acrobatic communities and awesome fruit and just following like all the places that sound exciting and fun and linking up with people that are exciting and fun. Like we're staying in New York now, we're in Brooklyn.
Yep.
We're all here longer, and like a big part of that was like we wanted to be able to have time to connect with Dot, and like we all had the freedom to just do that and stay here longer.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool hearing that both of you had this experience with relationships ending and this new life unfolding, because that was certainly my experience too. And I have this video out that's called "Wife Left, So It Became Minimalist." It's got like over 20,000 views
ridiculous.
right now. It's doing pretty well. So if you want, you can check that out. But the short version of that is I also had a relationship expire, and I didn't want it to. I didn't want it to, but when it did, things really changed for me. And this is not to say that you have to have a relationship expire in order to become a nomad. This just happens to be how it turned out for us.
You can be a nomad with your partner.
Oh, yeah.
Nomad.
You can do it any way you want. But this is just how it unfolded. And boy, it was a big shift. It was just a huge shift. I knew that I wanted more exploration. I think what I really wanted was to connect with myself. And since being nomadic and traveling a lot, I found that was the best way that I could do it, was to get out of my shell, get out of my comfort zone, get out of my patterns, and connect with myself through new experiences. Yeah. So when my relationship ended, my first desire was like, I want to go somewhere. And I remember laying in bed. I still hadn't really changed my lifestyle yet. I was still drinking a lot. I was still kind of eating foods that were suppressing my emotional connections. I was still in relation with people that were kind of, maybe not the most open-hearted. But I remember laying in bed and watching videos of people traveling and being nomads and thinking like, I want to do that. And I saw people going to Thailand, and I was like, I want to go to Thailand maybe one day.
Wow, yeah.
And a few months later, I was on a plane to Thailand, and that's kind of when it all started a few years ago. And so here we are. We're in Brooklyn, New York, Brooklyn Heights, staying with some of my friends that I've known for a long time. Experiencing new things with new people, a lot of love, and the ability to be completely free and move around anytime we want.
Yeah, and it I think we all experience discomfort along the way and change and excitement, and also just I think a big thing that maybe we've taken all away from it is like maybe not to shy away from the hard things that come up as you're going through it, but to embrace them and be like, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. Like I want this growth. It's
it's an opportunity. It's not.
Yes.
It's not just pain. It's not just hard. There's something there that's really worthwhile.
Yeah, I've struggled with the feeling of, like I have some difficulties, like anyone in our position where we're nomadic, where I feel the angst and the apprehension and the discouragement around me, and feeling like I don't deserve this, or like this, or just the stress of never knowing where you're going to lay your head at night, and just kind of getting a little freaked out by that. And then at the same time feeling super guilty, because it's like I hear all the time from people like, oh, I would love to be living that life. I wish I could do what you're doing.
I could do what you're doing.
Yeah, and so I'm like, oh, I shouldn't.
You're so lucky.
You're so lucky. Yeah, so like who am I to complain about this life? But it's like, no, there are real struggles that come with this lifestyle, like any lifestyle.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like just feeling like I have so many friends, but where are they? Like they're, like if you're on the road all the time, like sometimes, like it's awesome to be connecting with you guys right now, but a lot of it, like where are my other friends? Like, who else do I know? And it's like, instead of really staying somewhere where you have roots and you're growing a community all the time around you, your community is very flighty, and that's just the nature of moving all the time. And so that can be a struggle, but then, I do realize, like, okay, I am really blessed, but I think it's good to ask the question, like, well, why do I feel guilty, and why is that? Why do I think that's not okay? And just kind of going a little deeper into those issues, and then what is the real issue? Like, what am I really feeling? What are the stresses? And I don't know. It's
like what do we really want? Is this the path that we really want to be on? You
know?
Just like if you're doing a 9 to 5 and you are rooted somewhere, it's the same question you're going to ask yourself. Am I happy? Can I be happier? How can I do that? Let's think about it. So really being intentional and conscious, whether you're nomadic or not.
Yeah, and like, what value is this adding to my life?
What
like,
value is it adding?
this energy I'm putting out, like, what am I getting back from it? Is this how I really want to be spending my time?
Right. I think it's also important to recognize what you want. And like for us, that has been a nomadic lifestyle, and I know that is for a lot of people. But then not only allowing yourself to do it, but allowing what you want to change.
Yeah.
Because if you don't go after what you want, then you're always going to be like almost on a leash, like going sideways, like kind of going towards what you want in a really backwards way. And if you just go for it, and then you get there, and then you realize, okay, now I want something else. You know. And right now I'm still pretty nomadic, but like maybe one day I'm going to want to settle down.
Totally.
And that's okay.
That's
like
great.
I don't have to carve my identity so strongly into this lifestyle that like I never can settle again. So.
Because then again, like the big part of it is being fluid, being open, and our desires for what we want, what we need, are constantly changing, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that reminds me of something you were saying before about like people. You know, where are my people right now? Where are my friends? And that like loving what you're doing, loving who you're around, and then letting them go and moving on to the next thing, and being open to what's coming, and being open to like embracing the space. That's like a big part of minimalism, you know, embracing the space to like be open to what is coming and knowing that it's coming.
Yeah, being present right here, right now with what you have, seeing the beauty in it. It's an awesome space. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Lets us know we're doing a good job. If you want to check either of these beautiful ladies out, you can check the description box. And got any questions, comments, please post down below. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Bye.